Hi, welcome to Senior Moment, Successful Aging. I'm your host, Mary Beals-Ludka. Senior Moment is co-sponsored with Yavapai College Division of Lifelong Learning and the Area Agency on Aging, NACOG. I'm the Area Agency on Aging Director, and you can reach us toll-free at 877-521-3500. And our producer is Nancy Bennett with Yavapai College Division of Lifelong Learning, and you can reach Nancy at 717-7607. She'd love to hear from you. Maybe comments about today's show, or maybe you'd like to see a certain subject on the show. Call, give us some ideas. We'd really love to hear from you. So again, welcome to Senior Moment Successful Aging. Today, our guest is Altha Cline. Welcome, Altha.
Thank you, Mary.
Nice to have you here with us.
Oh, thank you so much. It's nice to be here.
And Altha, you work with Yavapai College.
Mm-hmm, I do.
And your title is?
I'm just a water fitness instructor.
I wouldn't say just. A water fitness instructor. So I'm really excited about learning about your program today. But first, let's go back a little bit and talk about, where did you come from and how you got here?
Oh, thank you. I was born in Sheridan, Wyoming, and I went to the University of Wyoming in Laramie, and kind of made my way south as the weather got colder, and ended up in Prescott 40 years ago. Started working for Yavapai College 19 years ago, and have loved every minute of it.
So now you started out, you've pretty much always been in physical fitness?
No, I really wasn't.
Okay.
In the last 25 years, I have become certified, and before that I was just in general education.
In general education.
Uh-huh.
And you started out with, I like this term, you said land classes.
Yes. I taught a stretch class and a cardio mix class. And then I was asked to teach some water classes. And I realized at the time that I really loved the water. I loved what it enables everybody to do. And there are so many things that you can't do on land as you get older, but you can do them in the water. And so I decided to focus on just water classes. And so that's what I'm doing right now.
So you do, and you're married and have 3 daughters.
3 daughters, yes. I have a daughter who lives in Colorado, one who lives in Phoenix, and one in San Diego.
And you're a grandmother.
And I am a grandmother, 4 grandchildren, 2 girls and 2 boys.
I'm jealous.
Thank you.
Well, I only have 1. So I want to talk about first of all, the name of the class.
I have a water cross training class at noon and 5:30 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then I have a warm water class at 1 o'clock on Tuesday and Thursday.
So mostly Tuesday and Thursdays.
Yes.
And now, is this a credit class at Yavapai College?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, 1 credit.
So you need to call the Yavapai College, or you could look it up online, Yavapai College.
Yeah, it's yc.edu.
Okay. And then they could go into registration and find out when the next classes start, and it's per semester?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. And so let's talk about the benefits of non-impact, because you mentioned something about there's a lot of things you can do in the water that you can't do on land, and I certainly can attest to that.
Right. Yeah. Well, we offer classes in both the shallow water and the deep water. So if you've had a hip or knee replacement, maybe working in the deep water where you have absolutely no impact would be the best way to start after you've been released from your doctor. People really enjoy working in the deep water. It gives you a much better workout. You're pushing through more water. It's more resistance, so therefore it's more work. But people that don't want to work in the deep water can work in the shallow water and just get a really good workout also.
When you say deep water, is it over my head?
Yes, it is. It's
okay.
8 feet deep.
8 feet deep. Okay,
Yeah.
so you can do some exercise where do you have floaties?
We do. We have belts that we wear,
Okay.
and we have cuffs, buoyancy cuffs that we can put either around your arms or around your ankles. And then some people like to sit on a noodle, and they can go to the deep water riding on a noodle.
That sounds like fun. So you mentioned the joint replacement, but certainly you can take this just as a fitness class. So it's
absolutely.
for all different kinds of aspects, getting in shape.
Right, getting in shape, training. If you're a marathon person and you want to do some training in the water, great place to do it. Just come in and you can run in the water. You can actually bicycle in the water, and you could do some water training to get ready for your marathon.
I would have never thought of that.
Yeah, it's amazing.
You know, so You mentioned that shallow water is good, but it's a better workout in the deep? Or?
Yes. Okay. Shallow water. It's good for people that don't want to go in the deep water.
Okay.
They can stay in the shallow water, and they feel very comfortable there. I am a non-swimming instructor. I do not know how to swim.
That's interesting.
Every one of my lifeguards for the last 19 years has offered to teach me, but I can relate to people that have a fear of water. We never, in our classes, we never put our heads under the water.
Okay.
Sometimes you get your hair wet, but you never ever submerge yourself under the water. But some people are just a little bit afraid of the deep waters, so they can stay in the shallow water and get just as good a workout as the people in the deep water.
So do you have, you mentioned different things like bicycling. So what extra equipment do you use in your classes?
Well, we have HydroFit makes a really nice big thick noodle, and the noodle actually started out in the oil refinery field. It was to contain oil spills, and that's where noodles first started, and then they gradually came into the fitness field, and so now we have them, and well, they're toys too, you see a lot in pools, but at the college we use them for exercise. You can stand and use them for resistance, or like I say, you can straddle them and bicycle on them or run on them. You can, and then we have buoyancy cuffs that we put around your ankles or your arms, and then we have flotation belts that you can strap around your middle and keep you afloat. They ride up, and that's the biggest complaint people have, is that they just keep riding up, and nobody's invented a belt that doesn't ride up. I wish somebody would. They could make a fortune. But
we'll go to the Shark Tank.
Yeah, really, yeah.
So, but you mentioned some other equipment that like. When you said bicycling, I immediately thought of bicycles, but you can actually bicycle on the noodle.
You can, yeah. And we have gloves. People usually buy their own gloves or resistance gloves, and people put the gloves on, and then that adds a little bit of resistance for upper body strength. And then we have dumbbells, and we have 2 different kinds of dumbbells at the college. And again, that's for upper body strength, and so there's a lot you can do with that.
So, when I'm exercising in the water, how about hydration? Do you stop? Maybe describe it to a typical class for me.
Well, we do 5 to 10 minute warm up.
Okay.
And
in the water.
In the water.
Okay.
Yeah, I always encourage people to bring water bottles, because you do need to hydrate yourself even though you're in the water. And so after the warm up, we go into a cardio session. Sometimes we move to the deep water. We exercise down there for maybe 5 minutes, then we'll move back to the shallow water, exercise there for 5 minutes. Lately, what I've been doing is a workout called Tabata, which is a 20-second, the one I'm using right now is 20-second work as intensely as you can with a 10-second rest. And my classes really seem to like it. I actually have an app on my iPad from Tabata, and so I can create any kind of workout that I want to. But the one that I've started with, and it seems to be the most, the one they like, is the 20-second, 10-second workout.
So, and that, what you're describing is kind of like interval training.
Yes.
I know my son-in-law is a firefighter, and I know they do a lot of interval training. They work as hard as they can,
right,
as fast as they can, then they take a break, and then you just go right back, and it really gives you an intense workout.
It does, yeah.
So when you say warm up, are you doing stretches in the water?
Well, not really, because what they've found is that your muscles aren't warm enough in that 5 to 10 minutes in the water, because the water at the college in the big pool is about 82 or 83 degrees, and you need to warm up probably for 25 or 30 minutes before you start stretching in that temperature. So we just do full range of motion moves. We do cross-country skis, jumping jacks, anything to get the synovial fluid moving around your joints. And then we go into the cardio. When we do our stretching is at the end of class, and I do more of an active stretch so that people don't cool down too fast and get cold. Then the muscles get tense. So we do more of kind of an active stretching.
So do you sometimes have doctors actually send folks to your class?
We do, and usually they send them to the warm water class first. If they've come back from any kind of surgery, stroke, anything of that nature, they come to the warm water first. And because the water's much warmer, they don't have to exercise as hard or as fast. And then gradually they move into the big pool.
So how warm is the warm water?
It's 88 degrees.
So a little bit.
Yeah,
warmer.
it's a little bit
so
warmer.
hard to get used to.
It is, yeah. The only disadvantage to the warm water pool, it's not very deep. It's only 4 feet deep.
Okay.
And so, but you know, if you sit on a noodle, you can get down in the water a little bit deeper. But the temperature is really nice. Yeah.
It is. So when you're in the water, is it better to go really fast, or is slow resistance better?
Well, slower is better because you can work the full range of motion. For example, a cross-country ski, you can work that full range of motion, legs forward and back. And to go slower is actually harder in the water. To go faster is easier. And so when I have my people slow down, they're like, "Oh my gosh, this is so hard."
Please let me just get this over with.
Yeah, right.
So when you say cross-country ski, they just go through the motions.
Yeah, it's just like a regular cross-country ski move like on the snow, but it's just in the water. Yeah.
And do they have to put anything on their foot when they do that? On their feet? Ankles? Nothing? Just
No. If you're in the deep water, you could put cuffs on, and that would really work the legs a lot more. But in the shallow water, I like my students to wear shoes in the water. And
Really?
yeah, the Aquatic Exercise Association, with whom I'm certified, it mandates that when we go to conferences, we have shoes on. And for a couple of reasons. There's a lot of diseases that you can get on your feet. And when there's a lot of people that use the college facility, and so just to prevent yourself from getting those planters, warts, and things like that, shoes are really good for that. And then it's a safety issue, getting from the locker room to the pool. And then when you're in the pool, it kind of keeps your feet from getting roughed up.
Yeah, because I remember as a kid, oh man, the bottom of my feet always hurt.
Yeah. And it adds stability. When you're bouncing in the pool, it adds stability to your ankles if you have your shoes on, provides a little bit of resistance. So when you're in the deep water and you have your shoes on, it's a little bit harder to move with shoes on.
So what kind of shoes?
Well, you can use any kind. As instructors, we use by Rika or by Avia. They make a regular water shoe.
It's a water shoe.
Yeah,
okay.
But you can get them at Target, Kmart, all kinds of places, and they vary in price from $10 up to $65 or $70.
So I mean, when you first said that, I was picturing putting my tennis shoes on, getting in the water. I'm like,
yeah, maybe not.
Maybe not.
Some people wear Tevas, sandals, but just anything that stays on the water. And it's surprising that it kind of helps you float. So it really makes your legs stay down in the water.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. I wear my water shoes when I kayak.
Yes. Yeah.
So it would be the same thing.
Same thing, right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So what is proprioception?
Proprioception. Yes,
right?
Proprioception. It's where your body is in space. And on land, we have gravity and we have our feet on the ground. So we kind of know where we are. But in the water, it's a little bit different when you're not grounded. If you're in the deep water, so the signals that your brain is sending to the muscles and stuff is a little bit different when you're in the water. So we like to work on proprioception in the water, and we do diagonal moves. We do side-to-side moves, anything so that we get that feeling of where we are in space, in the water.
So, because you're floating.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Which is a fun thing to do.
It is a fun thing.
What are some ADLs that I can improve, activities of daily living that I can improve by being in the water class? And I know that's a big issue, among our clients at the Area Agency in Aging, is being able to do their activities of daily living. And for those that don't know what that means, I mean, those are the basics, and why don't you go into that a little bit?
Well, the most important thing is just walking.
Yeah.
All of us, that's how we get around. And on land, a lot of times, it's hard for us to walk. There are people that are in wheelchairs and that they're just not able to walk. But in the water, you put a belt on them and they're able to walk. And so by walking in the water, it strengthens the core, which, there are 26 muscles involved in our core. We speak in the fitness field of just a few of them because there's so many that are deep inside, but your abdominals, your back extensors, obliques, those all make up that core musculature. And so to strengthen those just enables us to be able to walk more comfortably on land. So we do a lot of walking in the water. any kind of movement where you're stepping over, like stepping into a bathtub, stepping over if you're walking in the forest and you have to step over a log, or you're walking and you have to step on rocks to cross a creek. So we do a lot of stepping over things in the water, or hopping side to side, or hopping forward and back, which just enables us, it just implants those moves in our brain so that when we're on land, it's easier to do those things.
It's amazing too, muscles have memory.
Oh, they do. They do. And that's one of the things, that's why balance training is so important in the water, because a muscle does have memory. And if you work the muscle the same way all the time, that's the only way that muscle's going to work. So in the water, we change it up because of the buoyancy factor. It changes the muscle, the way the muscle works completely. So, for example, on land, a bicep curl, you would bring the palm up towards your shoulder. On land, you bring it around in front like this.
Oh, okay.
And that will work the bicep in the water. We work on balance. We have people standing on one leg, and in the water, you don't have to worry about falling. Yeah, maybe just drowning, but you don't have to worry about falling. So we can work on our balance in the water, which is a tremendous advantage.
It really is, and I know that the cost of falls to individuals, to families, and to society, and losing our balance and fall prevention is a huge, almost industry now. So I didn't even think about doing the balance in the water.
And so many people don't report falls because they're so afraid of losing their independence. And so many things affect falls. Medications, if you're on 4 or more medications, you've really set yourself up for falling. If you have any kind of foot injury, but in the water, usually those things don't play into it because you've got those shoes on for feet, or you can be in a little bit deeper water and not even have your feet on the ground. And so you can work on strength without having that discomfort.
You mentioned someone in a wheelchair that doesn't get a chance to walk. They could walk with that belt on, and then really, if they work on their core muscles, they could transfer easier.
Oh yeah, sure. And if you're in a wheelchair, you have a lot of times upper body strength, which is so important to wheel yourself around. But I've had several vets come over from the VA and that were missing lower extremities, limbs, and they got in the water, and it was such a freedom for them, to be able to move and be out of that wheelchair and just to be able to move in the water. It was amazing. Yeah.
And so when, let's say I want to sign up for the class, and like you said, it's a credit class, but it's open to everyone?
Yes, it is open to anyone that wants to sign up for it. The warm water class has a limit of about 20 people just because of the size of the pool. But the bigger pool it's a regular size pool, and we try to keep the classes about 40 people. We don't want to get them too big, but we have such a variety of classes. We have Aqua Zumba, we have Aqua Fit, which is just a regular Aqua Fit class. We have watercross training, which is what I teach, which is a little bit more intense than a regular Aqua Fit class. We have our warm water classes. We're hoping to eventually put in a yoga class. It's called Aqua, and it's yoga in the water. We do Pilates in the water. So there's just a lot of things. We have swim fitness for those people that don't want any kind of choreography class. They can just come and swim laps, and we have instructors that train them in that swim fitness.
So if I sign up for your class, do I get, how often do I get access to the pool? Just during the class time?
Our class time is, I teach twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, and but you can come during open swim classes and swim. And if you're a student, it's free. You can come and just use that open swim time. You can swim laps. They put the lane lines in for open swim, so you have to do laps, but you could be in the warm water pool and do whatever you want to do.
Because I know that I have someone that likes to walk in the pool.
Oh yeah.
Because it's really hard for her again to walk on land. So if I could take the classes and then still go to the warm water pool when I wanted to.
Yes, and walk.
That's a great benefit.
It is. And
for signing up.
We're open sometimes on the weekends, so it's nice if you can come in the afternoons on Saturdays or Sundays, and like you say, just walking in that warm water pool is tremendous exercise.
And you mentioned earlier when we were talking before we got on camera that a lot of your students are seniors.
They are. Most all of my students, very rarely do I have a student, a younger person.
A younger student.
Yes, but most all of my students are probably 50 and older. I had a lady that was 92 a couple semesters ago, and she was in the big pool where it was colder. And but in my warm water class, it ranges from 50 to 85. So all ages, but almost all of my students are seniors.
So then I don't feel so bad about putting my bathing suit on.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Because I know that's, sometimes, when I go to a convention, we're all like, oh, let's go in the pool. And the people are like, oh, I don't want to get in a swimming suit.
Yeah.
But it's like, get past that, get in the water and have fun.
And nobody can see you when you're in the water. It's just getting in and out. But nobody can see you. Yeah, nobody can see you when you're in the water.
I like that. That's a good point.
Yeah.
So what are some of the other benefits that maybe I haven't brought out in our conversation, for really doing the water therapy? We talked about what a typical class is, but when you say warm up, to me, I'm thinking about warming up to go running. So it's a whole different process, because I immediately went to stretching.
Right.
So it's a little bit different process for you.
Yes, it is. You do the warm up and then you do the cardio. The thing that's nice about the water classes, it's very social. And so people come, and sometimes I have to just stand there and I don't say anything because they're talking so much they couldn't hear me anyway. So, but you do the warm up, and I tell them, I said, during that 10 minutes, I want you to talk. I want you to visit with your friends. I want you to get caught up, and then when it's time for the cardio, then you pay attention so that you really can get the benefit. So then we do 30 to 35 or 40 minutes of real intense cardio. We push that water, and it's an action-reaction situation in the water. The harder you push the water, the harder it comes back at you. And so that's one of the nice things about working in the water, is that you have the resistance coming at you from every angle. So many times I tell my students, when you're in the water, it's like the minute you step into the water, it's stepping into a liquid weight room. And that's exactly what it is.
That's a good way to look at it. So
Yeah.
during the cardio, I know, just give me some examples. What would I be doing during the cardio? Just walking in place?
No, I do a lot of choreography. And so I have routines that you do.
Okay.
We'll do cross-country skis. We'll do jumping jack with a leg lift. We'll do half of a cross-country, half of a jack. We do tuck side to side like you're skiing moguls.
Okay.
We do running, a lot of running, forward and back, diagonal running. We do a lot of boxing moves. I do punches and jabs and uppercuts and kicks forward and back. We don't do a lot of things like lunges and squats in the water because it's not really beneficial. Okay. But we do push the water from side to side. So again, that's just, it's a way to strengthen the intercostal muscles, and it's a way to strengthen those obliques that help keep your core nice and strong.
So when you're doing the punching, you've got your arms in the water.
Right, in the water.
So you've got that resistance.
Yeah, I took a class where we actually had boxing gloves in the water, and it was fun. We put the boxing gloves on and boxed in the water, and it was really exciting.
That reminds me of another question I had, because earlier you mentioned gloves. So what kind of gloves are those?
Well, they're gloves that some of them have fingers in them and some of them are fingerless. Okay. But they just provide that resistance. So as you pull in and push out, you're pulling the water in, and the water is just right there. So you've got that resistance,
so it kind of helps.
Which works your upper body.
Because I'm trying to picture how they would be different from regular gloves.
Well,
I'm just trying to picture it.
They're a nylon. They're made of swimming suit material. They're kind of a nylon, and then there are some that are neoprene. But like I say, most all of them they make now are fingerless because they've found that that's more beneficial to you than with the fingers on. And you just push and pull that water, and it's just to work that upper body. Just provides that upper body resistance.
Just like kind of the shoes.
Yeah,
I think,
exactly.
And so and the belt. I know that I've done exercises in the water with the belt, and there's some things that you can do to help just relax your back because you're hanging there.
Right, you're hanging in the water, and I usually have my classes from time to time go in the deep water and just hang, because it just releases the spine.
It does.
And you just hang there, and it just releases everything from your neck all the way down.
It's nice to know that I don't have to. Well, I am an avid swimmer, but I don't have to know how to swim, and I think that along with thinking, oh, I don't want to put my swimming suit on and get wet.
Yes. Yeah.
Are some barriers that might be there, but the advantages that you're speaking of are way outweigh those.
Oh, they do. They really do. We have chairs that enable people that can't climb down the steps to get in the water.
Okay.
And they'll get you in and out of the water. And so, people that have had hip and knee replacement, they can't climb down in the big pool.
Yeah.
They can't go down the ladder, so then they just get in the chair and we put them right in the water and get them right out.
So it's like a hydraulic chair?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's nice to know too, because again, that takes a different set of muscles, and if you can't walk.
Right, and if you've had that knee replacement, you can't get up and down the stairs. So we have a shallower set of stairs in the warm water pool, but we do have a chair for the warm water pool too.
That's nice to know.
Yeah.
So Tuesday, Thursday, and then the warm water was on.
It's all on Tuesday, Thursday.
Tuesday, Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. At noon is my watercross training class. At 1 o'clock is my warm water, and then 5:30 watercross training again.
Do you have it every semester, even in the summer?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
All summer long.
So for one credit.
Yeah,
you can get a lot.
It's 15 weeks, so it's 30 classes. So that's a lot. It is, and it's a very good way to exercise. Very good way to meet people. Very social. We try to laugh. I always try to tell jokes. Try to make it funny. Keep it light, but keep it serious.
At the same time.
Yeah.
So. Again, the other advantage that I'm thinking about is, I could sign up for the class and then I could go on my own time as well. And I like the fact that you have a class after hours. I mean, 5:30.
Yes.
So if you are working or volunteering.
Yes, exactly. And that's most of the people that are in that class are people that work and or volunteer during the day. And it really is handy to be able to come at 5:30. So they're 50-minute classes. So
that is a good workout.
It is a good workout. Yeah.
That is a good workout. I'm lucky if I get 30 minutes in. So I need to come to the Aqua aerobics. And we have some mutual friends that go and say they really have a good time. They go as a couple and have a great time.
Yeah. And you can come, we do. And he comes at noon, and sometimes he has to leave a little bit early because he has to get back to class. And that's perfectly acceptable, Sometimes people can only come for maybe 20 or 30 minutes, but they said, I'd rather come for that 20 or 30 minutes than not come at all. And they feel I have so many people that come and they say, oh, I just was dragging in here today. And then when they leave, they say, oh, thank you. This is just what I needed. I just needed to get in the water and exercise, and I feel so much better.
I think that's a key point, is that, you say you're too tired to exercise, but if you would just take the time, you feel better in the long run.
Well, and I think because I've been at the college for 19 years, these people are like family. And so they look out for one another. When somebody's sick, they call, have you heard from so-and-so? She's not here today. Where is she? Well, but it's just like a family, because I have people that have been with me for 19 years.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, Altha, thank you so much.
Oh, well,
Altha Cline, for being here today and talking to us about, and again, this is, successful aging. Let's get in the water and work out, and it doesn't hurt so bad.
Right.
I know I've got some joint issues myself, and then, it's not so hard on our joints and not so hard on us, and I really appreciate you being here today.
Oh, well, thank you for having me. I just love to get the word out about water exercise.
And you have an email address, and it's called jumpjivegrammy at hotmail.com. I love that email.
Oh, thank you. So yeah, if you have any questions, email me.
Jump Jive with Grammy at hotmail.com, and we'll have the information available for you. And thank you so much for joining us today. Again, this is co-sponsored by Yavapai College Division of Lifelong Learning and the Area Agency on Aging. And I'm Mary Beals Ludka, Senior Moment, Successful Aging. Until next time.